Hey guys, welcome to Aaron's review, and today's video is number 96. We'll be looking at the Chord Electronics Hugo 2 DAC and amplifier. If you're new to this, Chord is a company that has produced many fantastic amp and DAC converters. This is second generation. There is actually a Hugo 1 that was released in 2012. The retail price of this in Hong Kong is about $18,000. This item is actually not mine, it's borrowed from a friend, and that's to do a review. And so it has been used, but almost like brand new. So a bit of information what you get inside: 1 year's warranty, Chord Electronics, Hugo 2 everywhere. It is made in the UK. But obviously if you buy from the UK you have tax, but in Hong Kong there's no tax. Serial number, there's black, there is a silver version available. My preference is also black. Let me show you an example of what the silver one looks like. So the silver one looks like this. I don't know, my preference would be black. Silver looks nice too, made in Britain. So what's the purpose of this device? Is to give you a bit more juice. There is, again, slightly different sound signature. When I tried it, yes, and I will be doing a review of this product, it does give me a bit, definitely more clarity and instrument separation, and definitely the power that is needed to drive headphones or any monitors. Clamshell precision machine, aluminium casing with polycarbonate buttons, acrylic signal window, and glass viewing portal. As I said, natural silver and satin black, so this is the satin black version. It is a portable. When I say portable, it's smaller, but I wouldn't say portable because I would not be taking this device out on the street so that I can use it. For those people who are new to this, there is actually something called that is just released recently or within this month called the 2 Go. Adds more functionality to your device, which makes it music streamer or player. It's just like the Mojo that I used to have, where you can apply the poly, and so that you can make it a receiver and you go to your NAS and stuff, or a bit more streaming and adds a bit more like memory card onto your device. That is new to go, and I think it's about, oh, this one's quite expensive as well. It's like £1,000. Obviously, that is depends if you need it or not. Battery, it does have internal rechargeable battery, which is Enix Energy's 3.7 volts at 9.6, which is 2,600 milliamps batteries, which gives you about 6 to 7 hours on full use. That means you don't have to plug it into a power supply. But if you do plug it into a power supply, it will turn into desktop mode, which means that it will not run off the battery. So you can use it in both ways, as a portable one or plugged into a desktop. Mainly right now I've been plugged into onto a desktop and used under my iMac. Tap filters is 49,152, and there's 10 elements pulse array design. Playtime is about 7 hours. So you probably have to figure out if it gives you that, especially if you look for a second-hand one. This is what you're aiming for if it's second-hand. Charging about 6 hours, micro USB at 1.8, and this is fast charge. And if it's slow charge, that's 1 amp, then it will require 8 hours, so it does take a bit of time. And it charges by micro USB. Connectivity input is micro USB whites, which gives you 41 kilohertz to 768 kilohertz. 16-bit to 32 bits. It has coaxial via 3.5mm jack. And dual data inputs, BNX input together, 32-bit, optical green, 44.1 kilohertz to 96 kilohertz. 16-bit to 24 bits. Connectivity input includes Bluetooth aptX Blue, 44.1 kilohertz to 48 kilohertz at 16 bits. Connectivity is 1/4 jack headphone output, so definitely used for your headphone. Gives you a bit more, definitely that power that is needed to drive those headphones, and even any monitors, for sure. There is one 3.5mm jack headphone output, and there's also one stereo as well. L and R RCA outputs. PCM support includes 44.1 kHz, 48 kHz, 88.2 kHz, 96. 176.4, 192, 358.8, 384, 717, 768, and DST support, native playback supported DST64 to 512, which is quite a lot. Volume control is digital, activated to 1 dB increments. Definitely precision is what this machine gives you. The ability to control the volume to precisely what you want as to drive your headphone or any monitor. Activated dual line level mode, activated via dual press of middle source, crossfeed buttons line. Power saving mode, auto shutdowns after 10 minutes of inactivity. Supports Mac, Linux and Windows. 1 year warranty, and obviously if you put the warranty onto the UK website, they actually give you 3 in total. So unboxing, quite simple. Black box. Inside we have the Chord Hugo 2 in black. Bit of dust, which is normal. As I said, this is not brand new. This is my friend's, just lends it to me so that we can have a full look at it and possibly a review. Very nice, black, optical, coaxial, RCA, 3.5 1/4" jack outputs, charging ports, micro USB, so that you can connect it to, for instance, your Android USB-C phone, your iPhone, connecting it to this Sony WM1EZ using this port. Here you have the optical, which you can connect to the SP2000, which is what I use, optical. Recommended optical will give you the better sound source, so that's what you should use. Yeah, and I'll show you that in a future video of how to connect it to this Chord amp and DAC. And at the back, made in England. Item is not quite heavy, but as I said, it's quite big. I wouldn't say it is portable because you can take it, but I wouldn't take it out obviously. And it doesn't come with a carrying case. You can buy a carrying case for it if you want. Here is an example of what the carrying case looks like. This is a Chord one. The one that I have with me here, for those who fancy cases, which is me, because this is the Dignus one in blue. It comes in, I think, in black also. You plug it in, slice right in this way, and then you can get all to your buttons. You can still see the lights and the lights here. You can see that it's protected on the side so that it doesn't go through past the case. This case alone from Dignus, Alcantara version, this is the Alcantara version, opens up like so. So it can be a bit more smaller if you want. And besides all that, it does open up as well, so that you can put a player on here as well. I can show you that in a later video. And this is what he is using. This case alone is about 1,600-ish Hong Kong dollars. So something, it's not leather. Sometimes leather is nice, but this is also really nice. Anyway, you can still see that there is this is the filter, input, XPHD and power. Inside the case, or inside the box, we have the lights, which explains what it does. There's a lot of lights to remember. It's just like the Chord Mojo. To make sure, well, first of all, if you're buying a new one or a second-hand one, make sure that the power, the light source here is red. Red is the smallest volume. So whatever you do, make sure that this is all red. Red is where the smallest volume is. If you have it too blue, it might blow your brains out because the volume is too high. We don't want you to damage your headphone or your any monitors, okay? So make sure it's red, because that's the lowest volume. You can see that there's different inputs. I'll explain what they are. So on the side here, we have the power button, which is this one. Blue, it means that you have fully charged. Green is medium. Red is where it's getting to diminishing really low power now, and if it starts to flash, that's when it dies, or the battery dies. We can see here there is the modes. There's Bluetooth. There's other ones as well, HD, USB and stuff like that. We have different filters depending on your preference. It does tell you what they are here as well. We have here a 1/4 inch 3.5, so you're actually able to play two or use two headphones or any monitors on the same time, so that you can test instruments. You have your RCA so that you can connect it to a speaker. 3.5 millimeter, and also your optical out. And on the other side, as I mentioned, we have the power and the micro USB connection. Turning on, I'll show you in a minute. So that is this manual. It does come with a remote control, which is fantastic. Inside here, we have the user manual, which is all in English. So HD, USB, coaxial, coaxial 2, optical, Bluetooth, and coaxial dual data mode. We have different filters depending on your sound preference. And as I said, there is the volume. Minimum is red, and it goes up to purple and then white. White is, by the way, is maximum. So be careful. We don't want you to damage your ears or your gear. And then the lights here will indicate what kind of file you're playing. So we got 44 to DSD. If the lights here is white, that means it's DS. That is it in English. Underneath here, a box full of useful accessories. We have the remote control, which means that you can easily turn it on without having to press the buttons, and it works fine. I'll show you now, because it does have battery. It doesn't need to have power supply. Or maybe, I know why. There we go. First time, mostly if I was to connect it to the power supply, then I can just press this straight away, due to the fact that I've had it in desktop mode. You can see it flashes several times. And then you can see here right now it's in red. If I turn it this way, you can see it's going up in, you see here, the light is changing. This is where we don't want, it's white. Go back down, purple, see here, it's slightly changing. There's the lowest volume. Even the lowest volume is enough to drive most any monitors. Okay. You've got your inputs, you have to change it depending what you're connecting it with. We have the filter, there's 4 filters, and there's HPHD as well. Right, so fantastic remotes, volume up, volume down. You can change filter, HPHD, you can dim the lights. The lights, if it's too light for you, you can dim it. You can see here now it's much brighter. Turn it off again. Okay. And then we have the coaxial, USB, optical, Bluetooth, and mute. And then you can see there's it turned off. Yep, so it seems like if it's not plugged in, you have to turn it on by hand first. But once that's turned on, it's as easily, you can easily turn it off by using the remote. We have an AC adapter, which is micro USB, of course. We have the receipt. We have several cables. Let me just, micro USB to micro USB, optical. So this would be suitable for the A cable. I find it's too short. We have another, this is to micro USB to computer, and optical to optical. A cable such as this, this one, I do have a longer one. This one here, which is what is needed for the SP2000 or SP1000, I have purchased a longer cable, so that makes it easier for me. So roughly, this is what the Chord Hugo 2 looks like in black. And here is what it looks like with it in the case. So let me just show you. And there we go. This is it in this case. And as I said, there we go. Turn on the volume. So the Dickiness case, Alcantara, with the Hugo 2. A bit of information: if you want to turn the lights to a bit dimmer, you press PHD and filter for a long time. You can see here it's now turned on to a much brighter volume. So if I press both together again, you can see here it's now turned a bit more dimmer, especially when it's nighttime. You don't want to have a disco party happening in your house. Anyway, this is the unboxing of the Hugo 2 from Chord, and hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and do subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.